I would like an order of pancakes and sausage and a large orange juice. I said to the cashier when I was placing my order at McDonald's. And as soon as I finished that statement, in my mind, I prayed, please let the cashier move with the speed of the flash. I had an appointment in 10 minutes, and I was approximately 5 minutes away from the destination of that appointment. And if the cashier moved expeditiously, I would be able to make that appointment on time. Now, I know this is McDonald's. Don't judge me for eating at McDonald's. They are not necessarily known for their promptitude. And it's not the cashier's fault. I know this is my fault. I should have been more prepared. But this is the situation that we were in. But to my astonishment, this cashier was sharp and efficient. And a few minutes later, after placing my order, it was ready. She extended the bag out to me with professional courtesy with a smile. As I prepared to seize the bag, I noticed that a man had approached the counter and he stood near me. Not enough to invade my personal space, but he was close enough that if he uttered a faint whisper, I could hear him. He stood approximately 6 feet tall. He was thin but athletic looking, as if he exercised daily. And his voice detonated like a bomb. Hey, I'm sitting over here and this woman is making all kinds of disgusting sounds. I'm a paying customer. I shouldn't have to hear this. Y'all need to kick her out. I have a healthy sense of curiosity. Some people might even call me nosy. I turned my gaze to look at the man. Then my gaze panned over to identify the culprit of his ire. It was a thin, skinny woman with a gaunt face. Her body posture was hidden and demure, as if she wanted to hide from the world. She was brown-skinned with marks on her face, and her clothes were stained and old, giving off the indication that she was homeless. And as I listened into this man's verbal tirade against this woman, it triggered a thought in my mind. This woman could have been my mother. This black woman could have been my daughter, or even a friend that I grew up with. Because life can be difficult, filled with numerous challenges. And at times, the vagaries of fortune are swift and can be brutal and mean. I'm sure when this woman was growing up, she never envisioned herself sitting alone in a McDonald's, homeless, coming in out of the rain because it was raining at this time, and being verbally accosted by a man she didn't even know. And as I listened, my anger was kindled. And I thought to myself, how dare you disparage a person? And while I'm happy that you don't share her fortune, what gives you the right to demean her humanity? I went into my pocket and I retrieved my cell phone to check on the time. I then turned my attention to the man. I returned back to my phone, another check, looked at the man again. One final look at my phone, make sure the time was right, then back to the man. Turned back to the man, and I said, if you have a problem with her, why don't you leave? And I said this audible enough that everybody in the room had no problem hearing it. And as soon as I said it, it was as if a suffocating silence strangled all the noise in the building. And there was nothing. And as soon as I said it, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be on social media, on TikTok, oh Lord, Facebook, whatever. The man's voice finally pierced through the quiet, and he said, what? I wasn't even talking to you. This ain't got nothing to do with you or your business. You already got your food. Why don't you get out? To his point, he was right. I did have my food. And if I left at this moment, maybe if I didn't run into any traffic or have to stop at any traffic lights, I could probably make my appointment on time. The best thing for me to do would be to leave. I reached out and put my hand on my bag. I turned to the man and I said, why don't you make me leave? And when I said this, I knew we were going to be on Facebook. And yeah, whatever. A few seconds passed that seemed to stretch into eternity. And in those few seconds, I said, if he takes one step closer to me, I'm swinging on him. Or he is going to swing on me. And I was probably going to lose. He said, skip this. I ain't never coming back to this McDonald's ever again. And he walked out of the door. And when he left, I said, bye, Felicia. No, I'm playing. I didn't say that. In my mind, though, I thought, because again, he was bigger than me, he was taller than me, better shape than me, and I really didn't want the smoke. I then walked over to where the woman was sitting, and I said, hi, ma'am, how are you? Would you like something to eat? Her posture stiffened. She looked up and said, I'm doing fine, and you? No, baby, I'm okay. God will provide for me. Ooh. This woman, even in her humble position, even in this difficult predicament in this season in her life, still had hope. I never ever carried cash with me, right? I even paid for my meal with my debit card. But something told me to go into your wallet. I don't know why. And I went in and I found I had $40 in my wallet. I took the $40 out and I gave it to the woman. And I told her, well, when you do get hungry, get yourself something to eat on me. Her face illuminated with a radiant smile, and in a calm voice filled with gratitude, she said, "Thank you, baby." "You're welcome, ma'am." I walked back to the counter, grabbed my food, and headed out to my car, really not caring whether I would make my appointment on time or not. And I didn't care. I left with the thought, hoping that this small token would be able to make her life just a little bit more convenient. I despise a bully, someone that would attack the most vulnerable people in our society: the elderly, the homeless, the disabled. And too many times in our society, we have people that perpetuate these bullying tactics. We are at a juncture in our society where some think it is okay for people at the apogee of social and economic influence and power to bully those who are not. Others think that it is okay to come up with strategies to cope with this type of bullying. I say there is no strategy other than to confront a bully. I am not courageous. It is a trait that I admire, that I respect, that I endeavor to emulate, but it is not inherent to me. But right is right. And when confronted with these dastardly acts of bullying against the vulnerable, I feel we have to step up. We have to use our voice and our actions to recede these untoward attacks. I would encourage you, the next time you see someone bullying one of the most vulnerable, or bullying at a vulnerable period, step up, say something. And with that being said, please remember to be your best, to be inspired, to be great.